Hey, and welcome back, everybody, to 21 Perspectives. If you don't know or you're a new person to this channel, I'm your host, Marc Vicioso, and this is a show where every week I'm going to be bringing on a different guest, and we're going to be talking to them about what got them to where they are today and their perspective on life and the journey that's got them up to this point. And on this episode, we have none other than special recording artist and rapper in the city, Neddy.
Yes, sir.
Run a clip.
Yes, sir.
No. Yeah. Tell me what you're trying to do, cause I be on the road making moves. She told me that she love me, but it's cruel, so I pass it to the bros and let them do.
All right.
Neddy, what's going on, my brother?
It's good. Marc, this guy right now, and I thought it was mad. It's crazy. I first saw you, you made the account, and I was like you started doing this, and I was like, I'm curious to know, where he takes this, because I know some man start out podcasts, but sometimes it's just there's no direction of it, you know? It's just they're like, oh, we're just gonna make a podcast and talk, or
that's what I call just like the basic one. That's like if I'm saying start a YouTube channel, and we just start a YouTube channel and we talk about celebrities.
Yeah.
And then we're out there, and it's like after 5 episodes, you're like, wow, we're just really talking about other people. When are we gonna talk about ourselves?
Facts.
I don't like that, but. Yeah, I tried to start this, and I appreciate that you like this, showing love to me right here. 100%. I've been trying to get this guy on for years, man. This guy, I'm messaging him. He's always out. He's got honestly, responsibilities at home.
He's not telling a lie. I literally was trying to, he asked me a couple of times, and I was just like, yo, I know this guy is going to think I'm ducking him. And I had to message him every time. I was like, yo, I'm not ducking you. I'm just happen to actually be busy today still. And even earlier today, I was out with Hamza and Abdullah.
Okay.
We were out in Cambridge, and we went to Niagara. We were out. And I was like, holy, I don't even know if I'm going to make it tonight to see you, And I was like, this guy's going to think I'm ducking. I woke up early today. I was tired. I was like, yo, I don't care today. I'm not missing the show. I got you today, for sure. Still.
I like it. What was sort of the beginning of the Neddy? Was that always the persona?
So
was there a different name that sort of came up?
So basically what happened was, I was in middle school. So I don't know exactly how old I was, but so originally my first ever email address was Natty Dread. So NATTI Dread.
Okay.
And the reason I chose that name was because I was young. I had an email. That was my first email. I was young. And basically my uncle used to call me that. He used to call me Natty Dread. And my grandparents would call me Natty, cause my real name is Nathaniel.
Okay.
So my grandparents would call me Nat, and then Natty, and then Natty Dread, and then whatever. So that's what my first email address was. So now, progressing. So I was in middle school now, and that was my PSN at the time, Natty Dread. So one day, what was it? How did it become what it was? So we were in a lobby. We were playing Call of Duty Black Ops. It's crazy. I never forgot this day because people ask me all the time.
Yeah.
So I was in the lobby with my friends, and someone called me, was like, yo, shut up, Neddy Dreed. And I was like, Neddy Dreed? It's literally not even Neddy. It's not even Dreed. It's Natty Dread. So as a joke, again, I was in middle school, I made a PSN called Neddy Dreed,
Yeah.
So after I make that, I just ended up keeping the PSN name, and that's what people started calling me, Neddy Dreed.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it got cut down to Neddy.
Okay.
And then it just seemed like, that's the name, Neddy. So everyone started calling me Neddy, and I started making music and shit like that, and it really just, at first I was Neddy Dread, and the crazy part is, I was Neddy Dread, and I had no dreads, and now I'm Neddy, and I have dreads, so it kind of switched up. Yeah.
It's fun how at the beginning of those things, it's just how it comes to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you were to try and explain that or do that over again, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, facts.
But it's just the way that things happen or some things line up. It's just
facts.
It's funny that I was at this exact moment at that time, and it's sort of well, what if I wasn't there? What if your name was?
It does make a big difference still. Yeah. And what's crazy? I saw a post about this, and I think some people need to really everyone should take this into account. There's always been movies and stuff about time traveling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they always say, if you were to go back in time and change one thing, there's a butterfly effect. It could change everyone's lives.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is that if you really believe that, then imagine every moment you put yourself in. That means that every single moment you're in
is different.
Exactly. And you're putting yourself in position to change your future drastically. So why not put yourself in a position like you are right now and make a podcast, you know, or do something like that's going to benefit your future, because any little thing you do can affect your future drastically.
Was it always that you wanted to be a rapper? Because I feel like maybe when people come out, they're like, I want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a big type of thing.
Yeah.
But was it that you just want to be a recording artist, or was it always that was it? It was rap.
So basically, this is how it all started. So I was young, and there's certain mans, they know, certain mans know they are. They were, we were in like elementary school. We used to walk to school together, like grade 4, grade 5. And I used to write these tracks. So it was basically like this. So I didn't have like the beats, you know, at the time, like YouTube wasn't really jumping like that. So I didn't have like the beats, like just like type beats or whatever. So I would just go based off memory of tracks I've heard like on the radio or on TV or something. And I would write these tracks and just like write like to the rhythm of them, no beat or anything like that. And I would, you know, sing these songs to these guys, and they're like, all right, Neddy, like, not even Neddy, I was just Nathaniel at the time. They're like, yeah, you know, Nathaniel, like, whatever, like, let's just continue our walk, you know? And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I was young. And then I remember I showed my uncle, Bubs, I showed him, like, yo, I think you know Bubs. I think you probably played with him.
I think maybe we played basketball one time. I seen him in the crowd.
Yeah, facts. So
yeah.
I was like, yo, I showed him the track when I was young. Like, I just showed him, like, something off my phone. And he was like, you know, like, kind of hyped me up, you know. I was young. He was like, I don't even know how he was like.
Would you say that he was like the first person that sort of believed in you to get to that journey?
Yeah. See, that's what's crazy. So again, I was like elementary school, and he was just like, yeah, like he was hyping me up and stuff. And then he was only in high school at the time, so he was like my older bro, you know.
Yeah.
So then, as I got older, I obviously just stopped. Like, it was just a joke thing I made as a kid, you know. And then actually, there was one more thing. Okay, I'll tell you guys about this one more thing. Yeah. So there was this guy, and any man who went to Sherwood Mills, you will know who I'm talking about. Greg Lawless, okay? And certain mans that know, what's it called? If certain mans had him, and they know me and they're close to me, they'll know about Greg Lawless thinks he's so flawless, okay? Yeah. And that was my little diss track I wrote about Greg Lawless, okay? Anyway, so that was kind of also like, I always liked making music, basically. Anyway, so then I get to high school now, start making music. It was never serious. Like, you know, everyone freestyles with their friends here and there, you know, but nothing serious. And my uncle says to me, yo, you know, some of the man are going to, you know, the studio. And I was like, studio, eh? Like, that's crazy. People go to the studio. Like, so I was like, yeah, like, okay, like, why are you telling me? Like, you know, and he was like, yo, like, if you still make tracks, like, you know, you want to try something, try it. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Like, you know, I'm kind of nervous because the mans he's going with are older, you know, and at the time I wasn't really close with them. So anyways, so I started writing a couple of tracks. I sent it to him, and my uncle's a straightforward guy. And to this day, like, and anyone that's watching this, like, never shame nobody for telling you the truth. And the only reason why I started making music and getting better was because he told me that the tracks I was sending him were trash. He was like, yo, these aren't good. Like, these are not good. Yeah. And I was young. I look at him, he's like my older bro, you know? So I was like kind of crushed, you know? But I'm not a giver up, like a guy that just gives up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to keep trying. Like, you know, you tell me it's not good, I'll try it again. Like, you know? So I kept trying. He's like, yo, work on your flow. And everyone that's watching this, again, yo, take advice from people. You don't have to take every single piece of advice, but don't take every criticism so negatively, you know? Like,
you gotta accept that, because I feel like sometimes when the criticism that you're taking, a lot of the people just want to make the show better. And a lot of the time that the person's criticizing you, that actually you should take it as a pat on the back because they actually care enough to tell you about
exactly.
Because there's a countless amount of people you just see and you'll laugh about with your friends. You know, there's those guys that always get sent to the group chats. Like, yo, look at this guy. Like, his life's really fucked up. Meanwhile, the guy's crying.
Facts.
So you got to sort of respect that. And I 100%. Respect that you understand and you have that mindset because that's what it took you to.
It's the key, exactly.
So what are the major changes that you can see right now from 2016? You came in, you were in high school, like, because you're 98, right?
98,
yeah. So you obviously seen that, and you're a bit of, I'm 2000. Yeah. But you saw sort of in 2016 where the rap game, and even me, I wasn't ever that big into rap really in high school. Like, I was sort of just in this zone. Like, I didn't even know when new tracks were released. Like, somebody had to tell me one day, it's like, yo, new tracks get released every Friday. I'm like, Mom,
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that. So then I was like, okay, let's learn. And then I can sort of see in 2016 there was sort of like that raw vibe. Like, that guy gets in, like everybody that's in Mississauga obviously knows Schoolboy T's.
Yeah.
Big
Oh
track.
yeah, Schoolboy T.
He
Yeah.
had some big track, My Dab.
Yeah.
And then now you see sort of Mississauga.
Yeah, I know exactly.
You know, what are the main differences that you would say? Because now with that track that you made, Designer, take off now, or what are some sort of things that you would talk about that would make it relate to now?
So and even like going back to like what you're saying, like, you know, that's how I started off with Designer, you know, like, and my biggest thing was this, like, I know a lot of niggas were trying to make rap and stuff like that, and one thing I didn't want to do was talk about a lifestyle I didn't live, you know, and there's obviously a certain level of capping everyone's gonna do,
exactly,
you know, but one thing I don't ever talk about, like, that's not my business, it's not my life, is I'm not talking about the straps, I'm not talking about like, you know, the ops or none of that. And the thing is, I just think that's whack, like, you know, and the thing is, like, you have to remember like the demographic that you're reaching out to. So like, let's say if I'm making trap music and rap music about, you know, ops and, you know, all the madness, you know, then niggas that are really doing that stuff, you know,
they're gonna hear,
like, they're gonna say, this guy's capping, like, you know, they're gonna know I'm capping, like, you know, and that's why. And a big thing is like, people just try to do, again, copy what other people are doing, not realizing that people will know if you're a fraud or not, you know? So again, like, that's why.
And most importantly, other people will know, but yourself will know.
And you know, yourself.
Like, you're rapping about it. You're like, come out of the studio. You're like, that was hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, goes back, never experienced
it still. So I was like, yo, I didn't want to get into that. So I wanted to just kind of like, you know, there was definitely some cap in Design. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
You know, there's some,
but it was the first one.
But it was
so
my first one, you know,
understandable.
like, and it was like, to an extent, that's like, you know, it's not that big of a deal, you know, but like, so I started to transition out of that though, because what I wanted to do was kind of like, I want to experiment, you know, I was having fun. And because Designer took off so quick, like, I think it's at like 800,000 now on SoundCloud. I was like, yo, and actually I want to say one more thing. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Ali Gatti.
Who's this?
So
is he a producer?
No, he's a singer.
Okay.
So he's actually from Saga. So going back to when I first started, Ali was making tracks. He first started, and super motivating for me. So he had like 20K streams on SoundCloud, and I remember telling my sister, and like, yo, this guy makes music, you know, and he was kind of like my comparable, like, you know, and I was like, yo, like, he just started making music, he's around my age, I want to get to this level. He only had 20K streams, you know, and I was like, I want to get to this guy's level.
Like, that was your benchmark.
That was my benchmark, you know. So I kind of like, and he was making more like, it's like kind of like rap actually, yeah. So we kind of like similar, and then my Designer took off. Once Designer took off, I was like, all right, yo, I passed that benchmark. I'm now past him, you know? He connected with me a few times. Nothing crazy, though. Like, you know, I'm not going to say we were friends or anything like that. Like, you know, I'm not going to cap. But reached out a couple times, and next thing you know, I see him doing his thing. He's grinding. He was grinding. I see this guy, Kylie Kardashian. Kylie Jenner, Kylie Jenner post this guy. I was like, no way.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian post this guy. I said, holy, this guy is from Saga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Make music the same time as me.
Exactly.
And he blew up like a couple years ago. And this guy's out of here now. He gets like 4 million streams a day. Like, you know, that's OD. Like, you know, like he's up. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is it was motivating to see me pass him. Now it looks like he's now way past me, you know?
Exactly.
And I could take that and, you know, I could complain and say, oh, I think I'm better or anything like that. Nah, it's not about who's better, who's not better. It's not about, because at the end of the day, that's all up to the fan base, you know? But it's motivating because he tried to do something that I'm trying to do and actually took off, like, you know? But going back to the whole idea of like what kind of tracks I'm trying to make, he also kind of showed me that, you know, you don't have to make tracks about straps and all that stuff. Just be real to yourself. Like, you know, if you're into the Love 'Em On tracks, make Love 'Em On tracks. If you're into the pop music, make pop music. Just be you. Be real. Write music that's real, like, you know?
And it comes off in how it's, I guess, not always the audience reaction. Because sometimes, and I know this as a content creator, you know this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll make a track and you'll be like, yo, this is the best thing I'm putting out right now. And then it's like, oh my God, this is not going
flop.
This is not blowing up. How do you deal with that? Like, is there anything that you would say to somebody and the frustrations? Because I know any content creator has gone through this.
Yeah,
Anybody
100%.
that's made anything that's put the screen and had the courage and the balls enough to put it out, they've had a time where it flopped.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
So I say this, like, okay, so for example, like, again, after Designer, like I was up, like, you know, I was like, yo,
That was sort of like your peak.
yeah, it was
would you
my
say?
peak. That was 100% my peak.
Okay.
That was my first track, you know. I was like,
Alright,
the real ones know about the first track was Nettie from the 5.
Okay.
That is no longer available.
Yeah.
And they know why. What's it called? So that was my peak. Designer was up here, and my next track dropped. And they were just kind of low, you know, like. And I remember going to a party too, and like people knew me. They're like, "Yo, like you're Neddy," and I was like, "Yeah, you know, I was a, you know, not to be cocky, I was a popular guy. I knew mans, you know." But they're like, "Nah, like you're Neddy. Like I know your tracks." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I appreciate that," you know. And that was kind of like my peak, and then things kind of just start falling off. And I guess like what kept me going and, you know, not burning out, I guess, is just confidence, like, you know, and again, keeping it real with yourself, like, you know, and just knowing that, you know, you're obviously gonna have, you don't want a friend group, and I know some people do, but it's not healthy to have a friend group that's gonna lie to you, you know. It does make you feel better, but it doesn't help you grow, you know? So
would you say that was a problem that you maybe had in the past?
So I didn't have a problem with the criticism, but I know that some people do have a problem with it. But I respected that mans were real with me, you know? So I didn't burn out, and I never took like any songs that flopped like serious, like to the point where I was like, you know, really sad about it, because it was like, I knew that I had a circle that was being real with me always. They would tell me if a track sucked. They tell me if a track was mod. And they'd be like, yo, we think this track is mod. Even if it doesn't blow up, it's a mod track, you know? Just sometimes, like, what it comes down to in anything, you know what I'm saying? Let me put it this way. You could have the best podcast in the world. I'm trying to say the best podcast in the world. But if everyone doesn't know you have a podcast, then how's it going to blow up? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, yes, there's always, like, the word of mouth, like, you know? But people got to know that you're making a podcast, you know? You got to get people to watch your shit, you know? You got to get people to listen, and I got to get people to listen to my music, you know?
You've also talked, I know you've also talked, you had your daughter right now.
Right.
You have a family.
Yeah.
And you've obviously expressed that was always a major goal of yours. It was always to have that type of thing.
Yeah.
So right now, and obviously you love your family, you love having a daughter, love having this.
Yeah.
Is this sort of like where you say that was your happiest moment when you're with them? Or is there more happiness and there's more things that you can accomplish down the road that you're going to say, that's really what's going to make me happy?
So if I was to say like, so I guess I look at it like this, like I love my daughter, I love my girl, you know, and I'm blessed to have them, you know. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people, they you know, sometimes they make a mistake and they, you know, they get the wrong girl pregnant and then just all falls apart. And then that kid is now like, you know, separated parents messes them up.
Some Maury shit.
You know, yeah, some real Maury shit, you know. And I'm blessed. So I'm actually blessed that everything works out, and, you know, and I know it's going to continue to work out. But what brings me happiness is, yes, having them, but that's currently, you know, I'm always thinking, you know, I know some people say you got to live in the present, but if you're always living in the present, sometimes you might miss obstacles that are coming in the future, you know? So I'm always trying to do a little bit of both, but right now I'm happy, you know, with my life, but I know that, you know, 5 years from now, if I was where I am now, 5 years from now, I wouldn't be happy. Because would I be happy I have a daughter? Yes. Would I be happy I have a girlfriend? Yes. Would I be happy with the fact that I can't give them everything they want? I wouldn't be happy about that, you know? And I want to make sure that, you know, I'm setting myself up to be in a position, you know, 5 years from now, not even 5 years, next year, the year after, always, to not just provide, but like, you know, I guess, yeah, provide, you know, and not to say like the man has to provide or I have to provide. Like my girl's independent. She can do her own shit, you know?
Exactly.
But I want to be able to, I don't want to be telling my daughter, I don't want to ever be struggling. I don't want my daughter to ever see me struggling. I don't want her to ever struggle. If I
like a down face.
Yeah, you know, it's like if we go to the grocery store and she wants, you know, a new toy, I want to be able to tell her no, but not no because daddy can't afford it, you know? No, because I'm not getting you that. Like, you don't need to get everything you want, you know? And I don't want to ever struggle like that, you know? Like, I want to, like, make sure I'm setting myself up and for her to have a nice future. And one of the reasons is because my parents blessed me, you know? I'm not going to sit here again and act like, you know, I'm from the hood or I ever struggled like that. Like, it was never like that for me. Like, and I have niggas that really go through that, you know? And they know, like, you know, I try to help them out when I can. And I respect them, you know, for making, you know, better choices than some other people make, you know, and trying. But I never want my daughter to go through that, you know? And seeing them, like, you know, it's like, not disting to them, you know, I know their families are trying, but I just personally don't want my kid to ever go through that, you know? And I want to make sure that I'm setting her up for, success. And that is what's going to bring me happiness, knowing that 5 years from now, my daughter's blessed. School, you want to go to school, paid for. You know how hard it is for some mans to pay for school?
Yeah.
School's bare. You know what I'm saying? School is a lot of money. Like,
exactly.
You got to grind and you got to pay for it. Like, so I always say, like, that's a big thing. I want her to have the option to go to school if she wants to. I'm not saying school is, some schools from some people, it's not for other people. But, I want her to have the option to, go to school if she wants to for free. I want her to work, but not work every day of the week when she's in high school, or in college. Enjoy your life as well, I want to be able to get her a solid car. Like, I want to be able to do this shit for her.
And these are things that I guess come when you have a different responsibility now. Because,
100%.
And when I can't speak, don't have a kid right now. You know what I mean? But I have to say that, like, when you see that, I can only imagine you'd be like, okay, that'd be like a happy moment where you're like, okay, you get to see them grow and see. And sort of they can look back at this and be like, maybe in when they're this age or they're there, they'll be like, oh, this was the same goals that my dad went through.
Facts.
And that's sort of what I'm like, and that's what I want to do here. But Neddy, I have to say, appreciate you having you on, man.
I'm happy to be on here, man. That was pretty. It was a good talk.
You have anything you want to say to me? Anything? Last things?
I would say, Marc, this is mine. I like what you're doing. I like the vibe in here. If you're watching this and Marc asks you to be on it, don't be a douche and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna show up." Be on there. Come to the show. Do the talk. Yeah. Even if it doesn't blow up. Just come. It's a good vibe.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen to that guy. Yeah. But yeah, Neddy, loved having you on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the podcast. Do exactly what he says. And we'll see you next week, guys. Peace out.